Hello, I'm Anya Alekhina, the director of Celebration, and this is my introduction video. I'm a filmmaker from Russia, but currently living in New York City and pursuing my MFA in film directing at NYU Tisch School of the Arts. I grew up in Kaliningrad, a small town on Baltic Sea. It's actually separated from Russia. It's located between Poland and Lithuania, because it used to be a German city before Second World War. So if you would look on a map and see a small dot in between Europe, which says Russia, I'm from this place. In undergrad, I studied journalism because I always wanted to be a writer. I started to be interested in filmmaking after watching my first surreal movie at the age of 19. And it was Louis Buñuel's The Discreet Charm of the Bourgeoisie. This and many other films I watched after made me realize that filmmaking allowed to communicate your vision in much more concrete way than writing. My first job was film editor, and I did it for several years, ending up as a production company owner in Moscow, working mostly as a producer in order to be able to hire myself as a director. You know, it would be really great if I could be inspired by sort of healthy things like spending time on nature or swimming. But honestly, I feel most inspired when I spend time in a room, in a bar without windows, discussing ideas with my collaborators, who are my friends. When I write, I mostly get ideas from visuals. For some reason, I've never been able to start with a message or a concept and not be bored in a few days of writing. To me, the process of writing is the process of discovering a story. With this film, A Celebration, I remember me having only an image of two girls singing in desynchrony, as if none of them is able to listen to each other. And I knew that this image is the image I want to finish film with. I also knew that I want to make a film about mental illness because I came from this kind of family. My mother suffered from schizophrenia for a long time and without happy ending, unfortunately. And I did want to depict this controversial feeling which affects every family with mental illness history. You sort of you wanna help, and you know it's right to be supportive, and you try your best, but you also want this person to disappear. You sure want it just on the back of your mind, but it is there because you want to fit into your neighborhood, you want to fit into society, you want to have same family as everyone else. But one day you realize that you probably will never have anything like that, and then what? Then you pretend none of this happened to you. Pretend you did everything that human beings could do, but the question is it really everything you could do? So this is the problem I wanted to talk about, and if I tell this, it sounds sort of annoying and depressive, right? So in order to be able to speak on this subject in an entertaining form, I knew I would need to find a metaphor. So I was looking for it for a while, and one day I came up with the stickiness, and it just felt right. During pre-production, I usually create a mood board and a list of references. Main reference for Celebration was found by production designer of this film, Lorenza, and it was Gregory Crutzen. He's an American photographer who creates a highly fictional, surreal sense of American suburbia. And he's really brilliant. I've never seen anything visualizing loneliness, disturbance, and craziness that accurate, that beautifully. Production-wise, we shot this film in 5 days, shooting 10 to 12 shots per day. We were shooting it in New Year Eve, and we knew we would have to celebrate New Year on set. But as it often happens, we were running out of schedule, and we wrapped at 1 a.m. and I felt really guilty. But my crew changed time on clock from 1 a.m. to 12 a.m. So officially it was still New Year and we celebrated it, and it was really great. Currently I'm working on a feature script, and I'm also working on a docu-fictional project about Brighton Beach inhabitants. I just shot the first episode of it, which follows a 56 years old woman currently living on Brighton Beach, knowing no English. She just moved. She used to work as a background actress back in Moscow, and but in my film she's playing a lead role, and she's playing herself. I want to thank you for spending 13 minutes of your lives on watching my film, and another probably 8 minutes on watching this video. I really hope it was helpful and interesting. If not, I'm sorry I can't return you those minutes back. All I can do is just thank you. And I really regret I can't be there and see your beautiful country and faces. And yeah, thank you again and goodbye.